Her jokes made millions laugh. Comedic legend Joan Rivers' death has stunned many fans. She suffered cardiac arrest during a medical procedure that she underwent a week and a half ago. And showbiz journalist Tom O'Neill is a longtime colleague of Joan Rivers. Together, they shared many red carpets and award shows for nearly a decade, in fact. And he's joining us now with more on his time with the late comedian. And hello to you. I know that this is a difficult time for you and a time of mourning like so many of her colleagues, friends, and fans. And I want to just give you the opportunity to take a moment and talk really about the Joan that you knew. We know her from the stage and the jokes and the zingers. You know her as the person, as the mother, as the friend. Tell us about that.
Well, she had this absolutely endearing, loving Jewish mama side to her that would surprise people who only know the harsh humor. Her favorite things to say to everyone she worked with and everybody she knew was, be grateful for everything. Always have a sense of humor. And then she would say, don't be afraid to be lucky. She said, life is going to give you opportunities, seize them and go with them. And I just think that's wonderful, wonderful advice from the heart.
You know, it seems like she took it upon herself with anyone that she worked with. I've heard from a lot of people that were colleagues of hers that she took it upon herself, as you said, to sort of have that mama side to her, giving advice and embracing them and encouraging them. What were some of the things that she said to you?
Well, like that. I remember going into rehearsal one day, and she had linked arms as we were going into the room where she was about to preside over a rehearsal for her red carpet show at the Oscars, where, of course, everyone was watching her. And what was on her mind? It was, she looked up at me and said, aren't we lucky? I just thought that is such a window into the real Joan Rivers that people don't often see.
Especially after so many years of success. It seems it never really got old for her. You know, a lot of people wonder if she's just as funny as she was off camera as she was on. Was she one of those people that would just throw a zinger out when you're sitting there, you know, waiting for your car to pick you up or waiting for dinner?
Oh, yes. She couldn't turn it off, ever. Actually, the last time I spoke to Joan, we had a fight, and it was on the phone. And I had written something in the LA Times she didn't like, and I had mentioned about how that she and Melissa are notorious divas. Well, she called me up furious, screaming, what do you mean we're divas? When have I ever acted like a diva? And I said, Joan, how about right now? And she suddenly burst into laughter. She goes, you got me there. And it was just typical Joan. She turned into this loving, nurturing thing 1 minute after yelling at you.
You know, it seems like that's going to be such a, I hate to say responsibility, but living up to honoring her at her funeral today seems like it's going to be a difficult task. What do you think, what do you expect to hear and see from some of the family members, friends, as they remember her?
Well, we know that there's going to be a red carpet component to the funeral. They're keeping the rest of it under wraps. Now, what this means is, my guess, Preston Bailey will be putting on a show. This is Joan's event manager. This is the guy who actually staged her death in the hospital with props and mink blankets and Oklahoma playing on a record player there. He's the one who staged Melissa's wedding at the Plaza Hotel in 1998 to a theme of Dr. Zhivago. They brought in a winter forest. They had 100 footmen standing around with candles while Joan was brought into the room, carried on the shoulder of the gay men's chorus singing, hey, big spender. Now, you know there's going to be some crazy elements like that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, you know, Tom, I just really appreciate you taking the time and giving us some insight into Joan Rivers, the woman, not just the comedian. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sure, thanks.